Hey Jasmine, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Just enjoying your Saturday night.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
much to do besides sit on Zoom.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
We're
Uh,
having a great time.
yeah. But yeah. So I just wanted to bring you on here. That way we could talk about water scarcity and then how we can do some effects to possibly bring down the water scarcity issue across the earth. I know you're actually studying hydrology right now. Um, is so like what do you think like the big game plan is for like trying to really end water scarcity around the world? Like do you think it's like more government action or is it more like us as people like coming together?
Well, for starters, I really don't think there's a direct line of action to combating the water issue
Hmm.
around the world. Obviously, we're undergoing a lot of climate change, and that's not something the government or us as individuals have control over. Um, and climate change is such has such a um, large effect on how much on the pollution of water, how much water is available. Unfortunately, or we're actually so blessed here in the US to have, it's something that we don't think about, but in other places such as like third world countries such as like countries in Africa, and even some places in Asia, they just don't have the infrastructure to develop or really deliver the water to its citizens.
Oh
So
yeah.
I think it's just like a collaborative effort,
Hmm.
uh, because, like I said, there's nothing we can really do about the climate changing and our water polluting. But in terms of what can be done, I think it just really needs to everybody just needs to come together to make sure that um, people aren't um, you know what I'm trying to say? People aren't,
Just
going thirsty and you know what I'm trying to say, yeah.
right. Yeah, no, I definitely think it's a problem that we as like humans could definitely do more about with like organizations like the World um, Water Fund,
Mhm.
water.org. There's a couple of big celebrities that actually work within like water scarcity organizations. And yeah, I think there's more that we can do as humans to be able to make this less of an issue across the earth. I have some companies that I actually have. You ever heard of Life Straw?
Oh, I have, yeah, I have.
Yeah,
It's like it's those straws that, like, filters out um
the
filters out, like,
that-
bacteria, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So they actually do like a lot of work with like nonprofit organizations and trying to I guess really make like a difference in how they can portray their company and be able to I guess stand together and be able to end the crisis around the earth. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
totally.
And then there's also this one company that they are building bicycles where it has two containers in the back, one with clean water and then one with dirty water. And basically, what they're doing is the filter when they spin the tires or like when they're going on the bicycle, they basically it creates like fresh water and goes through the filtration process of like making bikes like that and being able to provide clean water.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Um, yeah, so has there been any like have you ever witnessed like water scarcity like in a public setting or like seen anything like as far as like having to deal with like unclean water, like non-filtered?
Thankfully, I have never, experienced, any situations of that, but I also think we're living in very, a country that's blessed. Unfortunately, we don't see that in Flint, Michigan. They've been dealing with that for over a decade now.
Hmm.
Uh, and you wouldn't think that from just like looking on the outside. Like you would never think, oh, there's a place in the US that's like dealing with unclean water. Their water's been polluted with what is it lead?
It's a mixture of like lead and then I guess the tap water system is
Yeah.
like get it. It's like I guess what it is they have like old piping systems, and I guess it's corroding into the water, creating
Yeah.
it unsafe. And
Yeah.
it's sad, but it's actually been. Let's see how long it's actually been going on for.
Well,
I,
that's just that's like the most direct thing that I can think of that's like closest to home.
oh yeah, definitely, and the fact that it has been
Because
happening.
like in third world countries in Africa. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been going on since 2014 is when the problem first started, and it's still going on to this day. So it's definitely interesting to see about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, is there if you had to think of like one like government action that could like help to be able to um I guess like is there anything you see like the government taking funds from that could like go to like water? Like is there something that the government you think is overspending in?
Um, I mean, I think the government is overspending in a lot of aspects.
Mhm,
I don't think that's just one thing. Um, but at the same time, when you say government, I guess that can also apply to the United Nations. You know, they do a lot of or not United Nations. What am I saying? UNICEF
mhm,
um, is a huge international organization that sponsors so many humanitarian or that deals with so many humanitarian crises such as water scarcity. Um, I don't know where all of their money goes, or one of the big things that they've been focusing on within the past couple of years has been the crisis going on in the Middle East. So I
mhm,
think sometimes they've water scarcity is put on the back burner.
mhm.
Um, I mean, there are there's so many things going on in the world that are so impactful and that should require so much of our attention,
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean like water scarcity
just
should be yeah, put further down on the list, you know what I
yeah.
mean?
I definitely think like when looking at like our government budget as a whole, I think
Mhm,
there is space for being able to take off like not like saying like entirely, but I think we have some room within like our military, just like seeing how much money goes into that. Um,
mhm,
and also just like foreign relations, I think we pour a lot of money into making sure like China and uh, Japan and the European nations all have like money funding from us.
mhm.
So I think if we more like try to force that money towards humanitarian work as far as like water related and trying to build that, I guess really just crush that boundary of like having such an issue with water in third world countries to make it a better situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but let's see what we can talk about. Um, Now, do you think the news ever talks about? No, not that. Um, do you think the news networks should be portraying like water issues, as far as like water scarcity goes, and trying to like I guess build like
Awareness,
publicity?
public awareness.
Yeah.
Um, yes, 100%. I think
Mhm,
they should. I think so many people have forgotten that Flint, Michigan is still like going through this crisis,
mhm,
especially in America. I feel like it was mentioned on the news maybe once, like when it first started, and then it was never mentioned again. And unfortunately, that happens all too often nowadays. Not saying that our news shouldn't be consumed by what's going on related to the pandemic
mhm,
or vaccine, Black Lives Matter, yada, yada, yada.
mhm.
Uh, but I do think news outlets around the country and around the world should do a better job of highlighting what our world is facing as a whole and not just, you know, like
Focus
nation by nation. Yeah.
on one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think our media has a problem of definitely like trying to just find what's hot when it comes to
Sure.
topics.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely with like, I think my biggest annoyance is when like with elections going on and just like even like the past 4 years, just always having stories of like little petty things with President like
Mhm.
Donald Trump and how they make the littlest stories try to like inflate it to just build that attraction. I think like some of that news time could definitely be used towards definitely increasing awareness. And
Mhm.
I think like it also is a big thing for us where we have like open sources of clean and fresh water at a daily basis to like
Yeah.
have like recognition, be able to understand, because I don't think like I think our older generation would understand what like Flint, Michigan is, but like a lot of these like younger people that are like going to be like the people that are going to change the future probably have no idea. Like
Yeah.
I could ask my 15-year-old brother what Flint, Michigan is, and he probably wouldn't have like an understanding for it.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
and I definitely think that's a problem, just because like yeah, it's definitely more of like our generation that like heard about Flint, Michigan, but like we also got to think about like making sure everybody has like an aspect of like water scarcity around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well said.
Mhm. Well, I thank you so much for going ahead and taking some time out of your day and being able to talk to me.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, I know. We got to get going and got to get planning for the next one though.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, best of luck to you and the rest of your course, and it was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. We'll
Yes.
have to plan for the next one.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Jasmine.
Mhm.